Okay, well, my name is Dick Hill. Some of you probably know who I am. I've been around for quite a while with ARC, and I've been in control industry for an awful long time. And before that, I was in oil refining, so I've got a good background understanding what a lot of these folks are going through. So to begin with, I made a very long title, and I apologize for that, but we'll explain it a little bit. Okay, the first thing I'd like to get into is talk a little bit about what are the issues? Why are we doing this? Why are we doing digital transformation in the first place? And by the way, the thesis of this session is digital transformation is not something that's going to be done next year. It's going to be done over everybody's lifetime continuously, and we just have to prepare for it. Well, there's all kinds of global competition. There's energy requirements. There's standards that we have to deal with. There's customer standards as well as regulations in the industry. But I think one of the big issues that we want to talk about is the human assets and issues like safety and issues like the aging workforce. What do we do about that? A little bit before, on the session before, we talked about how important the human factor is, and that's my term, but getting humans involved in this are extremely important. So that the challenge is to improve business performance and meet all these changing challenges over the operations life cycle, which may be 30, 40, 50, 100 years. So first off, we've got to get rid of this aging technology. Now, I picked a picture of really aging technology, and I doubt if many of you really have that in your facilities, but I bet there might be one or two that have a facility that kind of looks like this. But we've got to get rid of that. And the thesis of this session is we've got to move our world from simple automated to where it's appropriate, autonomous operations, where it's appropriate. We're not talking about getting rid of all the people. We're talking about where it's appropriate. Again, for the purpose of making good business decisions, making profit for your company, being as good as you possibly can be. So what does that mean? We got to get rid of that old technology, but more importantly, the new technology has to come together in a sensible way to run these facilities, and it has to be done making sure that the best decisions are being made all along the way, including with the beginning of the decisions, which is set up a strategy, and a strategy that's not managed by and understood by your entire company is not really a complete strategy. So I'm going to also introduce to you a maturity model that, by the way, I failed to mention, but if you go into the app that we have loaded on all your cell phones, if you read the description at the bottom, there's a link to a survey which I'm posting. And I'd just like to get a snapshot, and you're all welcome to take this. I'd like to get a snapshot of where you think you are in this 5-level model of autonomous operations that I put together. And I didn't put it together all by myself. I did a lot of research to see what autonomous operations means. And this is heavily borrowed from the autonomous automobile 5-level maturity model, where at the very bottom level and below the bottom level is level 0, which means there's no automation. It's completely manual. Well, everybody here is more or less beyond that, I believe. But the first level is where the operational technology is providing information so that the human can make all the decisions, make all the changes. So that's pretty basic. The next level, which I entitled regulatory automation, is where the operational technology is is giving some routine logic, and it's also providing the humans with some additional information so they can make better decisions. And as you move on up, you move up into advanced regulatory. And this is where the operational technology is making a lot of decisions and making a lot of things happen, but the human is still involved because the human's watching all this and making sure that the system is doing the right things. Now we move up to level 4, and this is where selectively the operational technology, where it's appropriate, is doing everything, and humans are more or less observing. So this is where you start to get into use of some of these technologies like AI and other things that go beyond where a lot of folks are today. And then finally, I guess level 5 doesn't exist. There it is. Okay, level 5 is where it's appropriate, the operational technology is doing everything, and the humans in some cases are not there. And I think you can think about you can certainly relate to the autonomous automobile, which is still not ready for prime time yet, but it's getting there. But you can also relate to some of the places where you probably wouldn't want to be, like at the bottom of a mine in the middle of the jungle in Brazil. You might not want to be there as a human being. So let's try to figure out how can we do that autonomously. So that's my thesis. And again, there's a survey. I'd appreciate anybody here who wants to, please take it. The link is in the description, at the end of the description in that app. So basically, just a couple of key conclusions of what I want to make before the real people come up and talk is digital transformation is certainly on its way. It's happening. It's going to move fast. So we need this to optimize performance. We need the technology, but we also need the experience on how to apply it. We also have to follow a solid life cycle process. We have to have strategies in place, and we have to have management understanding as well as the technicians' understanding, and all the humans in your enterprise have to understand why we're doing this and what the ultimate objective is. So again, we want to reach autonomous operation where it's needed. We're not saying get rid of all the people. That's not the message at all. But along the way, there are times when for safety reasons and human health reasons and just the aging workforce reasons, you might want to use more autonomous operations to make things work.